Hello and welcome. I am Arun Kumar from Beautiful Mind IAS and this is my psychology class. Today I am going to discuss one question from this year question paper, psychology optional. And in this questions, 20 marks question, some students find difficulty in this with this term. Describe the diversity in the disciplinary thought with a special reference to structuralism, functionalism and behaviorism. So keep in mind I will be describe the diversity in the disciplinary thought with a special reference to these things. Understood? I hope you have understood the question. Now many students think that what will come under diversity in the disciplinary thoughts. Getting? That I will discuss here. See, if you look at the 1879 structuralism, and Wilhelm Wundt, he founded the first school everybody knows of psychology at Leipzig, Germany. So then the new development was functionalism. William James, functionalism. And then structuralism, functionalism and behaviorism. Behaviorism under Watson, J.B. Watson. You know this thing. So I will, with reference to diversity in disciplinary thoughts, focus will be on this one with a special reference to this one. Now the structuralism as a school of thought, what was the disciplinary concern? So what psychology should study and what should be the methodology? Getting? This was the disciplinary concern. What should be the subject matter of psychology? You know this thing that before 1879 there was psychology, but it was sometimes part of philosophy and not an independent discipline. So generally you say that 1879 is a formal start, disciplinary starts. So he founded schools so that the purpose was that people will do research here and then will develop the discipline. So there was disciplinary goal along two dimensions, because William Wundt was inspired by that contemporary Mendeleev who discovered periodic table, and in periodic table what was the focus? That there is proper structures in the physical world. Elements have certain specific at mass number or atomic number. So mass number was the focus, but anyway, but the position was that in periodic table Mendeleev had discovered that certain carbon has 6, then it is a place is fixed. So this there is then oxygen, then nitrogen, everything is well structured. There is a structure in the physical world. So he was saying that there must be some similar structure in the psychological world, mental world. And that is why this school came to be known as structuralism. Every ism is a philosophy. No? So focus was this school, as a school, the focus was the subject matter. See, disciplinary diversity I am talking about. Subject matter and methods. You should tell along all these things, that what was the focus of, structuralism. Subject matter was conscious experience. What psychology should study? According to William Wundt, we should study conscious experience. Getting? Experience, that is we are conscious of. वी आर कॉन्शियस, मतलब जो हमें पता है something like that. And what is the purpose? To find out the structure of that conscious. For example, when we feel something, so that feeling, what is the structure, what components are there? When sensation is there, then some feeling is there, there's some cognition is there. So he was trying to find out the structure of every conscious experience. Love, hate, these are the emotions. For example, perception, attention, these were the very popular thing. Anyway, but he was saying that finding the structure of conscious experience, because he was focusing on finding the structure of conscious experience, his psychology was called, his school was called Structuralism, and method was, you know, this thing, introspection. Now in examination you focus on this one, don't lose this track, then otherwise diversity in disciplinary, diversity in discipline, you will not be able to discuss. If you go forward, then William James differed. He said that subject matter is okay, but conscious experience is okay. But the focus was, according to William Wundt, focus would be on finding a structure of conscious experience. What are the structure of that thing? How many things are there? He said that rather we should find out function of conscious experience. Function means, for example, when we see something, we pay attention to something, and rest thing we are not very attentive. Why? When we see something, then something is there in mind, we are conscious, and the moment we shift our idea by focus, then something we forget. So why do we forget? What is the function of that forgetting? We should try to understand this thing, because conscious experience is a flow. We cannot find out the structure, because flow is a very dynamic thing. It is not a static. So how can we find a structure of some dynamic thing, because that keeps changing. So rather we should focus on finding function of, and this is why this school was known as functionalism. Understood? Functionalism is I said that every ism is a philosophy. So functionalism, and so conscious experience is okay, but focus should be on finding things. This was the change. See, otherwise conscious experience is okay. Method introspection is okay. So he didn't differ with this one. He didn't differ with this one. He differs only on focus. Understood? In 1905, you know this thing. Ivan Pavlov was given Nobel Prize on some experiment, and brilliant experiment on classical conditioning. And what was the finding? On the basis of that, he proved that even so-called autonomic responses that is not under our voluntary control. For example, heartbeat. We do not give instruction to heartbeat that now pace should be higher, speed should be low. But that could also be influenced by learning, means experience. And he proved with the classical conditioning experiment, you know this thing, CSUS conditioning, how dog was, salivation response was influenced by something neutral, that is called bell. So he proved this thing, and that was very inspiring for J.B. Watson. And in his presidential address, he said that if psychology is to become a science, we must change all these things. What? Then he said, see this thing, subject matter, same, but he said subject matter should not be conscious experience, but what should be the subject matter? So behavior. See this thing, behavior. Subject matter should be behavior. Why? Because behavior is observable. He was trying to bring this diversity, disciplinary diversity, try to understand. He was trying to pull the psychology away from this subjective framework and to the scientific framework. So he was focusing on that, completely abandon the previous evolution of psychology, and we should focus on a new subject matter, and that is called behavior. And what about method? How we should study that thing? So say this, we should also abandon this one. इसको भी छोड़ देना चाहिए. Then what we should study? So they say that scientific method. Scientific method means method of observation and method of observation. Observation under controlled conditions, that is called experimentation. I hope you are getting this point. Experimentation is a kind of observation. Observation under controlled condition is called experimentation. So basically it is an observation. See this thing. Disciplinary diversity of structuralism, functionalism and behaviorism. Suppose you have, what is structuralism? Okay, forget about all the things. Titchener has said this thing, this, that. Where you are focusing on in your answer? Because the disciplinary diversity. So focus should be on what it tries to study and how. This is about methodology. This is about the subject matter. And I see this thing, how I said this thing, that what was the subject matter, what was the method. Here, subject matter same, method same. Here, altogether different. Behaviorism, subject matter is behavior and method is experimental method. See? So you should elaborate all these things and you should make point that on the basis of that he attempted to found a new school that is called behaviorism. So now see, structuralism, functionalism, behaviorism, three schools and three philosophy. Philosophy believes that what we should study in psychology and in what way. So if you focus on this thing, then actually you are addressing the core of the question, and that is diversity in disciplinary, disciplinary diversity. See this thing. But if you unnecessarily loading every person, then you will be called that you are not focusing on the right things. That is that has been asked in the questions. And out of 20 marks, how much you will get? See, there is out of 20 marks, maximum you can get at the rate of 70%, then 14 marks you can get. This is the best marks you can get. Generally people get 60%, then 12 marks is the 20 marks. This is the best thing. So if you write in this way, I can assure you that you can get 12 or 40. But if you are other way, then you can say it may be 30%, 40%, something like that. So focus on the generally everything you write, everything you know need not to be written. What questions demand, you should answer and put the content in the very customized way. I hope I made this point clear. And if you are preparing for psychology optional for this thing, and if you have suppose your concept is not very clear and you want some help and all, if you are new, then you can join our one online course is there, and that is where you will, time is less for next examinations. So you can say depending upon when you plan to give, you will get the concept lectures and all, and weekly doubt clearing class. This is the most important. Directly you can ask doubts from me. I will be clearing your doubts. So that is second thing. Then you will get a study materials, so concept classes in the recording form, and then live doubt clearing classes. Your doubts will be clear. Then material is there, and then test is there, and test is basically based on PYQ that has been asked, something like that. So there are 8 and 10 tests are there. Its description has been given on our website, Beautiful Mind IAS.com. So you can explore, and if you think that it is good for you, I can assure you that you will be highly satisfied. With most of the students who have taken the course feel very good, and very few doubts arises, because I have discussed in the same way in a very comprehensive manner. So if you want to explore, you can explore our courses. There are demo lectures and all, and you can, if need arises, you can join. Thank you very much.